tuned in to Plan to Podcast with Danny, Marie, and podcast peeps. You tuned in to Plan to Podcast.
Let's talk about something we don't prepare enough for when starting or growing a podcast. Now, here's a hint. It's not your mic, not your cover art, not your launch date. It is your mind, because podcasting will test your patience, your confidence, and sometimes your ego. Got a big ego. And if nobody's told you that yet, congratulations. Today is the day. Now, welcome back to another episode of Plan to Podcast. I am your host, Danny Marie. And if you're new here and still trying to figure out where to start, how to grow, or how to monetize your platform, keep listening. Now, this season, we're talking about mindset, because before you can profit, before you can scale, you have to plan ahead. And a lot of that planning is internal. It's about how you think about your platform, how you show up, and how you move through this industry without letting outside voices throw you off course. Girl! Now, that brings me to today's topic. It's a good one. How to handle criticism as a podcaster without quitting. Now, I can't wait to get into these juicy details of how I came to this specific topic. Yes, we're talking about mindset. We're talking about not allowing people to throw you off course. But I have this ex who I don't even think about maybe 10% of the time since we've been broken up. He'll drop in my spirit and I'll give him a little nudge, and I'm speaking positivity. Whereas for him, this is the type of stuff I get from him, y'all.
I'm going to just start sending you content, and then whatever I send you, you make a treatment for it, make a skit or make a scene or a conversation, and then just do it. Because are you running out of material at this point?
I ain't never asked this man to be my social media manager. I never asked him to produce me. Maybe in some other life, I asked him to be my manager. And then I quickly realized, heck no, you're crazy. And everything you tell me to do, I fundamentally, just wholeheartedly would never do. So now all of a sudden, 6-7 years later, broken up, he's telling me he's going to send me other people's content and I need to create a treatment for it and try to emulate and reenact the stuff that he sends me, because clearly I must be running out of material. He said that. Y'all heard him. I didn't pay him to send me this for the sake of this episode. Y'all heard the man. Minding my business, doing me, trying to be focused, be intentional, speak directly to my community. There were times when I was showing up, doing all of the reels, trying to do the viral dances. I can't keep up with these young people. I'm pushing 40. I don't got the spirit or the stamina. So I let that go. I'll let y'all do that. And whenever I feel like dancing, I'll dance. But I'm not going to do that as a part of my content, as someone who educates, who teaches, who mentors. It's not to entertain. Yet, and still, I have this man telling me I need to create treatments and try to replicate what other people are doing on social media. You guys, you can be in your own lane. You can find your niche, whatever it is that works for you and your audience, whatever that understanding you have with your community. That is what you do. That is what you should listen to. Don't take the opinions of others and assume you have to bend and do things that are completely out of your realm or out of your comfort zone, out of your scope, or out of what you want to do. I think the social media got some people just completely brainwashed. People are performing, dancing, telling all of their business, giving you an inside look into their toxic lives. And that stuff is what goes viral. But mind you, you have to jump through several hoops. You have to get millions of views. This means people are willing to bend the truth. They're willing to be toxic. They're willing to tap dance and all of those things just to get the millions of views on these social media platforms. And these platforms could care less about who you are. And I'm not willing to fund another production. I'm not willing to tap dance. I'm not willing to step out of my own realm just because you think my content is lackluster. So why do I share all of this? Yes, I think it's entertaining. It does provide that entertainment factor that my ex is looking for. But also the reality is you will get people in your comments that are just like this. You can think you're doing well, or you can think that there's areas for improvement, but you can be in your own lane. You can have a focus for what you do. You can have a goal for where you want to take your platform. Yet and still, you'll have people in your comments who are going to be critical of how you do things, about how you show up, about what you have to say, about your point of view. People are going to be reckless. They're going to be rude, and a lot of it will be unsolicited advice. People think that because you post it, they should have an opinion, and fair enough. I talked about an episode not so long ago. You're going to have hate watchers. People's agenda is to just watch, hate, and comment because that's how they build community. Being in the comments and critiquing people is how, I guess that's how they feel seen and how they identify, because there's a lot of people making hate comments. It has become a thing with reality TV, with the Kim Kardashians. People watch the Kardashians just to hate on them, and people love to tear you down and critique you, and no intentions of supporting you, but they will subscribe, they'll follow, they'll listen, they'll watch just to have a negative opinion. With my ex, there's no middle ground for him. It's either you take his advice, and then it's like, since you took his advice, he basically is responsible for your growth, or you don't take his advice, and then you somehow are doomed for failure. What makes it interesting is that some of these things he critiques, I already know. I'm aware. I'm a Taurus. I can't be more critical of myself, more real with myself. I'm real with others, and I'm real with me. I look at myself on screen. I know what I sound like. I know what I look like. I know what I do. Do I have goals for bigger? Yes. Am I doing what I can do now? Yes. Am I leaning into what's comfortable and duplicatable for me today? Yes. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know what my goals are. He doesn't know what my visions are. He doesn't know that I plan on using content studios in the future. He doesn't know how I'm working up my budget to be able to fund bigger projects. Just got my kids in school. I'm just now getting into a headspace where I feel like I can breathe. He doesn't know that. Or maybe he does. Other people don't see the behind the scenes. They just see what you put out there, and they just want to critique it. Now, enough of ranting about my ex. This is exactly what podcasting does. Your comment section will eventually start to sound just like my ex. Some of what people will say will be flat out rude, disrespectful, rooted in jealousy, envy, or their own unresolved stuff. That kind of feedback, you block it with no guilt or shame and no explanation needed. But then there's the other kind, the uncomfortable feedback, the unsolicited feedback, the feedback that stings, but it touches on something you've already said to yourself privately. And this is where mindset comes in. Podcasting and business in general requires discernment. You have to know what's noise and what's signal, what deserves your attention and what's meant to distract or deter you. Not everything needs a response. Not every opinion needs to be absorbed, and not every critique deserves to shape your direction. If feedback aligns with something you've already identified in your own plan, then yes. You file it away, you work toward it when the timing makes sense. But if it's trying to rush you or shame you or pull you off your square, growth doesn't always look polished. Sometimes it looks like candid moments. Sometimes it looks like learning curves. Sometimes it looks like staying consistent while people comment from the sidelines on a journey they're not actually walking. I know what it feels like to fail, and I know what it feels like to succeed. And I know what it feels like to rebuild with intention. The vision I have for my platform is clear to me, and it doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. These are the conversations that I've had privately with God. This is an assignment that I take seriously. So while people are free to observe, critique, and comment, the only opinion that truly matters, whether I'm honoring what I've been called to build. And I want that same clarity for you. This season is about mindset because podcasting isn't real unless it comes from the heart. And if this episode resonated, let me know. If you feel like this is a more personal direction, then tell me. And if you're learning how to find the nuggets in this story instead of getting lost in the noise, stay tuned. There's more coming. Now, you can find more information on plantopodcast.com. And in our Plan to Podcast community, we welcome you where you're going to be nurtured. You're going to be encouraged and feel empowered. We're not here to tear you down. Now, you might get some critique. That's, of course, with your permission and knowing that you have a goal we want to help you reach. We're building for sustainability, you guys. And what I want to add and close with, if you have not yet used the podcast plan, I recommend that you do so, because when you have people in your comment section who are trying to throw you off track, at least you can lean on your plan for guidance. So find the links in the description of this episode or on our website, Planta Podcast, and then come back next week for another video. Bye.